All right. So we're on Triforce. What's going on, babe? Caught you raw. I wanted to redo this video. I made this video earlier in my car, but I wanted to redo it. Once I saw the video, I was like, oh man, let me just redo the whole thing. I was stuttering over my words and stuff, but I wanted to put out a message. Yeah, so it started raining. It did not even look like it was gonna rain. But you know, I like to come out here right when the rain falls down and get that fresh smell. But we are coming into a time period of greatness. The time period of greatness right now is what is gonna be the most eventful time for us in the sky. Looking up in the sky, we're gonna see most eventful events this year. I feel it. So far, half of this month, for me, been covered up. The sky been covered up half of this month. And when the sun has came out, it's like, okay. I felt the rays. I felt its source. I felt what it's trying to say. This is going to be a very impactful year. And yeah, when I say year and time, all this and junk, we're going by this Saturnian energy. So we're going to have to just understand that. And then understand that, ultimately we supposed to break free of this time curse. So this is not really supposed to be our ultimate goal, is trying to keep up with their time. Because this is their time they constructed within their own spectrum. So this is not our time spectrum. This is their time spectrum. For them, for them to be aware. Soon, all this is going to be up. The whole Saturn rings is going to fade away. Actually, they're saying, scientists are saying, or astronomers are saying, that the rings of Saturn is fading away. We already know about we already know about these signs of trouble. We already know about the monetary system is crashing. Then they got they got another system that's crashing as well. What it's called, I gotta crank my car up just a tad bit because I need to run the battery. Yeah, so they got this other thing too. They're running out of time for their genetics. They want people to stop doing birth, or what it's called, going to the clinic to kill their babies, right? Remember that story last year? So they wanted us to stop. They said it was our community keep saying that black parents and all they attack the black communities by putting all these Planned Parenthoods. And that may be true, trying to stop the crystal children from coming in, but they only slowed it down. Okay, you can't stop the crystal children from coming in. You only slow it down. They got to stop themselves from killing off themselves. So, if Saturn rings is dissipating, that means the time of Saturn is almost up. No, we had this also for Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, all these different ancient gods of source power was in control at one point. And then we had galactic beings. We had galactic rays of beings that came through and built their time construct over each star. And whatever beings you want to say, maleficent beings that created these things, were doing this for control and for manipulating the star and its frequency. So when you look at, there's this book called the Saturn Ring Makers, and it's funny enough, I didn't even need that book. I did not even need to know about this book. I just already thought about, okay, it look like the rings are created. They're created for it to harness the power of that star. And at one point, Uranus, the granddaddy star, that star was significant for a time period. Then it got tilted over, knocked off course. Then we went on to the next one. We went on to the time of the Elohims with Jupiter. And right now, Jupiter got pierced on its side, like Jesus' hand got pierced. It's that big old red mark on Jupiter, because Jesus would be representation. It's a representation of Jupiter, the pierce, the mark. Also, you can say that's a mark of the beast, but also Saturn is a mark of the beast because it got a mark on his forehead, top of his head. Jesus and Lucifer, basic brothers. You got Horus and Seth. Horus and Seth. Excuse me. Light and day, or you say Jupiter and Saturn. Always got this Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. When that happens, major things occur. And when that last Jupiter and Saturn conjunction occurred here, that's when all this ed happened. So, and that's when all this talk about trying to, then the Georgia Guidestones, that went down. So, their plans in full effect. The monetary system, also all that stuff's collapsing this year. So, I'm looking at the trade charts right now, and I'm seeing where all the money is going to be dropping down. Hey, I'm going to make money off this money. I'm going to make myself some money best way I can off of this bear market. Even though pretty soon our money won't mean anything. So you just want to make as much as you can and convert that over to something useful when the time comes. Because it is going to come. When you need to turn, when all this stuff is no longer a concern. Well, speaking of CERN, CERN is just nothing but another ring maker device within Earth. Earth has its own ring. Earth has her own ring. So It's invisible, but of course she has a ring. All planets have some type of ring, and those who wants to manipulate it and try to reverse or slow down the frequency, they can try for only a momentary time, but it is going against the violation of the code, galactic code. And we know what beings are doing all these things. I really do love some of the videos I've been seeing being shared from Remedy or H channel, or with the little kid talk about the reptilian and the war. And we have, I made an AI generated image about the reptilian war, and that was very unique in the way how it created the image. You can literally see these ships, mini ships, flying around, being blown away. But Star Wars. It's funny how Star Wars, all these, they show all these beings, but half the time I be thinking to myself, it's better to show you in Star Trek. Star Trek is way more better. Star Trek is more realistic. Star Wars is all Hollywoodish. Blow this stuff up. It's all stupid. Star Wars really is stupid if you think about it. The story doesn't make really sense. But I understand the metaphysics of it. But the whole storyline of Republic doing the same old thing over and over and over. Like, how many times you gotta make a Death Star? How many times do you have to allow people to sneak up on your ship? I mean, all this stuff. All that stuff is relevant. It's really stupid. But that's basically not what I want to talk about. But it's Star Trek is the real source, because you got actual beings that looks like reptoid, different factions of reptoid species, just like humans. We got different species of human, and I really like the way Star Wars does it. And Star Wars have a rich history, and it actually talks about some of the galactic battles that we faced. But time. Once those people who time masters, I'm gonna make another video about time masters, because people who wants to just change their luck try to control time. Time basically is, they always say, you don't know how long you have on Earth. And so but that's the whole fear. They want you to be in constant fear of having to go out and do things that goes against thyself, because you're always in fear of, I don't know if I'm going to be here. So you're always in that constant fear and creating negative outcomes, because you're always constantly wants to do this and do that, because you're looking at the construct of time incorrectly. That's why I said, get out of the whole concept of age. You don't age. When you look in the mirror, do you look like you aged? And if you say no, then you understand the power of the mind and of the body and of the cells, because your cells are computers. They listen, they know. And your cells are computers. You're supposed to feed it well, give it what it needs, not what smells good to you. That's part of the trick. We eat too much stuff that smells good but doesn't really do no good for us inside of our bodies. So we just eat, and consume. But what is this food doing for us? I can literally see some of the individuals who I went to school with, and I look at them, I'm like, man. That's when I say, well, I guess time has not done you well, because you're constantly saying you're old now. So you look old. When I see some of our sisters, I'm like, yeah, you still look the same. But I could tell the difference in the frequency too. It's always in the frequency. But yeah, the galactic battles, some of the videos I've been looking at about time in 2024, 2023, 24. It's going to be an interesting year in between. Like I said, we're going to see some things happen in the sky. They can't really start World War III with humans fighting humans. That's not going to happen. They may have to push that Project Bluebeam a little bit quicker and faster. Because, we got too many folks out here who's friends of everybody all around the world. You got the whole Facebook pen pals. Everyone's pen pals. Everybody is friends of everybody around the world. So you're just not going to cause a War III, unless you have little green man, like that general said. The general said that, and how they always the press gotta make a mockery of a joke of it. But the general said, hey, unless there's little green man, there's not gonna be no World War III. But best believe they're gonna try to push it. And it's gonna happen. But they rest assured they got no power against us, though. You got no power against us at all. Those with fear, they operate on fear. They shut your whole immune system, not your immune system, but your whole nervous system down, so you can't really move. Once you operate on fear, they can control. I've seen some other people videos about reptilian encounters, and they had fear, and the fear, once they hit that fear spectrum, they can enter your mind and control you and stop you. So, but you already know that you're more powerful. You already know that you're more powerful, that you can handle the battle ahead. You don't need to be afraid. Nothing to be aware of, but thyself within the power that you can put out against their will. So don't be afraid. Just go within, do your cheap energy, make a word of power. My name is Akachi Ra. This word of power, Akachi Ra. Akachi Ra. Akachi Ra. It's an invocation, but not just a fancy name. It's an invocation for power from the sun, from the hidden light, deep within the sun. The warship that's within. Each of our warships is parked somewhere around, ready to go to battle. You can feel its presence when you go outside, you look at the stars, you hold your hand up, and one of those stars will communicate with you. They all work for us because you know that you are the source of their power, of its power. The stars don't operate unless we are operating down here, because they are our consciousness. The stars are parts of our consciousness. I mean, it's nice when it rains, because I can come out here, I can just listen to the rain. Sometimes I'd be thinking to myself, since the clouds can reach all the way up into the heavens, I mean, it rains, I'll be hoping that some of the rain that falls down is the crystal essence of it. So I like to come outside and pour my head with some of the essence. So I wet my head just a little bit, I'll go back in the house. So that's what I'm about to do now. Yeah, I just want to make this video. I'll put it on my YouTube. I'm going to share it on my Facebook. And I got me a new computer that has some pretty good editing tools that came with it already. But I do want to install Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photoshop. I want to give me a good video camera setup. So I'm almost there. I'll be getting my whole little studio and room set up so I can start doing my podcasting and making things happen really nice. All right, y'all. Caught you, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and get out here. I just want to charge up my car. I had to charge the battery for a bit just to make sure it's all running. But yeah, man, let's hop out here and get some. Out here, get some rain drops. Like I said, the raindrops are your. Don't be afraid to come outside in the rain sometimes too, because you can get you some spiritual healing from the rain. I know they say they put all the chemicals and stuff in the air, but it's still a mixture of